Good afternoon. I'm honored to have opportunity to stand and present here. The purpose of today's presentation is to review the possible relationship between the bar displacement and the number of fixation points in the very recent studies. No disclosures. The instance of bar displacement or rotation varies among the studies. It is reported as low as 1% to high as 16%, depending on the definitions used. Most of the literature say displacement occurs within 30 days after surgery, but we know also there are very late occurrence of bar displacement. When the bar displacement happens, it can bring about suboptimal surgical outcome, patient dissatisfaction, and surgeon's stress, and possibly, though rare, life-threatening, like ascending aorta injury case caused by bar rotation, as in this case report. Also, it is one of the major causes of recurrence and reoperation. Most reports do not clarify the definition of the bar displacement. Also, each highly experienced centers do have their own characteristic procedures of MIRPE. Also, the bar fixation method varies among them. There are numerous combinations of stabilization procedure, the number, suture materials, wire, or the site. So our question is this: let's think about the details later. And then how many fixation points are needed in the pectus repair patients? Does the number of the fixation, bilateral or unilateral, with 3 or more, does it really matter for the bar displacement? Thus, we searched the database. According to the PICO I showed you previously, we selected the entry terms of the 3 database and used hand searching of the known thoracic journals, snowballing procedure, conference abstracts, and the other Google Scholar. At first, we identified 1,765 research papers from the well-known database and 132 papers from the other source. Here is the Prisma chart we used for the study. During the data extraction, we collected a number of study characteristics to assess whether the patient population are overlapping by being included in multiple studies from the same surgeon. If this was the case, only the study with the highest number of patients were included in this meta-analysis. Also, we included only studies published in the year 2010 or after, and study enrollment period of 2000 or after. This is the brief summary of the researches included in this study. A total of 35 studies was finally included in the quantitative analysis, and as you can see, the details of the fixation method varies among studies. We used basically a random effect model to reflect the heterogeneity and to consider the sample sizes of different studies, setting the number of fixation points as the subgroup from 1 to 4. And then we did the meta-regression to see the relationship. The bar displacement indicated any bar displacement, regardless of treatment or not, just as the author reported. Here, the graph shows the moderate degree of inverse relationship. When the number of fixation points increased, the instance of reported event was decreased. Also, we checked the publication bias through the funnel plot. As you see, generally it looks okay, the mirror images left to the right, but you can see there is some empty spot in the right lower quadrant. Therefore, we cannot deny the possibility of some publication bias in this study. Possibly, the bar displacement is a continuum from the mild form to the severe as a rotated form. Everyone knows bar rotation needs surgical revision, while mild displacement, for those only can be detected in the imaging studies, can be observed. Some researchers summarize the degree of bar displacement into 4 categories according to the growth changes and the need of surgical revision, and the others divided into 3 groups based on the lateral chest X-ray findings. Yet there is no unified classification for bar displacement. From what degree is it really matter? We have no answer yet. Why do the bar displacement occur? Dr. Park suggested three mechanisms, like bar flipping, lateral sliding, or intercostal muscle tear, hinge point disruption. From the mechanism, we can say the number of fixation points will be better in 3 than 1 or 2. This logic matches coincides with our study results. In conclusion, as the number of bar fixation points increased, there was a tendency of bar displacement decreasing. Clearly, there exist high volume centers with single stabilization with low instance of bar displacement. Especially for the starters or low volume centers, the prevention is most important for avoiding unnecessary reoperation. So we recommend either 3 or at least 2-point bar fixation would be benefit. Also, for the pooled studies about the detailed methods of stabilization are strongly warranted. Thank you for attention.